Stay low.
Skaters, I'm out here talking about posture in skating today, and that's because I've seen so much bad advice online. It's terribly irresponsible of skaters to coach people to skate upright with an upright back and upright chest, very little forward lean. I've seen it a lot online, and I know people are hungry for clicks, but tutorials aren't the place to present fiction. So, Connor McDavid, the best skater in the world, has a crazy
at me, now go ahead and move that body.
What's my booty shot? Let's talk about the perfect posture for skating. If you're gonna go down deep like this, you can't have an uneven load. You have to counterbalance by bringing it forward like this. It's funny, when I brought myself from here to here, I could feel my engines, my glutes visibly loading. There we are, there's my booty shot. So this, to me, is where I'm getting the most out of my glutes. I generally like to ride a little further up here because it's hard to absorb when I'm down low already. If I'm down here, how do I bring my knee up to absorb something if I'm down that low already? So I like to bring it up a little high here, not quite as deep as a speed skater, something like a hockey skater. And hockey skating, Connor McDavid, the best skater in the world, has a crazy forward lean. But when he's handling the puck, he's going to be more upright and chest forward. Without the deeper position and the forward lean, you're going to be displacing the load on your meniscus unevenly. You'll be putting pressure on the backside of your kneecap, the cartilage there, and on your patellar tendon. There's a myriad of issues that can occur if, over the long term, you're too knees over toe. I'll admit it, I rarely skate optimally. I'm rarely as low as I preach you should be. I skate a lot up here, and because of that, I've created a quad dominance and a few hip issues, which I've had to address in the gym. Ideally, I would be skating well like this. I can really feel my glutes in here. I could go even deeper here like this, which forces you to take time on your stride, and the double push is just going to creep in. But this for me is perfect. See how there's very little up and down or vertical leakage. So most skaters out there in the city are going to be quad dominant because it's not easy to stay down here all the time and use your glutes in a meaningful way. So if you do manage to stay low like this at all times, you are going to minimize that imbalance that you'll create by skating like every day. But it's not going to be completely equal. Your skating will still be a very quad dominant exercise, simply because you are supporting yourself on your quads at all times. They never get a break. Hockey players generally don't skate with their back straight like this, unless they're floaters. There's a little bit of this going on. So they're reactive, and their myofascia is sprung, and everything is ready to react on an instant when they go from thought to intention. So another thing that can fuck your back or your hip up is if you're up high, but you've got a really nice full stride, boom. You want to kick that stride, but at the end, it basically has nowhere to go. You're kind of fighting against your own anatomy. Whereas if I lower my trunk down here, there's a definitive end. It's not relying on connective tissue or bony structures to stop my stride. I'm actually completing the stride, and then my foot bounces back for a quick stride return.
Look at the huge difference between the upright stride and the forward-leaning stride. It is so easy to increase the length and power of your stride just by changing the angle of your torso.
So the only places where I would suggest that you skate high, besides Miami, the places where you should skate high are when you're in the first 5 steps. Step high like this, and then you're down low into that super deep position. Around people, I like to stay a little higher, a little slower, and then boom. Require a lot more room for my stride when I'm down deep like this. So over streetcar tracks, I will not be forward balanced too much. I'm very careful there. Very even balance here. I take them all seriously.
The aforementioned Connor McDavid gets such clean extension that he's able to rotate his pelvis and add a couple of inches to his stride. Not something all players do. And it's largely due to that ridiculous forward lean. Here's a clip of me skating how I skate when I'm trying to be as fast as possible. When I have the right forward lean, my head movement is steady, with little up and down bobbing, which means the force I'm generating is directed more into the ground and less pushing my body up and down. You'll notice just a little less forward lean on the crossovers. If I was doing full, powerful, slower crossovers, I would probably keep that big forward lean. My stride posture information today does not necessarily apply to certain wizard moves or figure skating, as artistic sensibilities and spin-centric tricks can take priority over this highly generative position. But you know when the Ice Princess wants some power, that torso's coming forward.
What I really want you to look for is how far forward my chest gets. So for city skating, right about knee level is good. Maybe a little ahead. This feels perfect. Of course, I'm going to lose some of that height because I need a little room for myself to absorb the height differences. Here we are. So I'm still using my glutes here. Not as much, but I feel so low and grounded. A little less fleet of foot if I get too deep. Still always crunching down with this. Even if I'm recovering, I kind of recover like this. I'll show you. That was weird. Crunching in here a little bit. I still got that bow where the power doesn't release entirely. It kind of flows through me. So let's take a look at where the low, deep stance with a forward lean really gives you power, wakes up that engine behind you. I'm going to keep myself up a little bit so I can feel the power when I decide to use it. Let's use it now. Yeah. Long stride. So I'm going to like to do this. Or let's get a big long stride. Bang. That went too fast.
On a windy day like this, it feels really natural to adopt a lower forward position for enhanced aerodynamics. I feel like if anything, I could have added a little more leg bend to my skating today. I always want just 1 or 2 inches more.
Wow, this tutorial is taking forever. And this was supposed to be short. If you want to take this time to hit the subscribe button, that's cool. If you want to go get yourself a sandwich, maybe stretch you a little bit because I just don't know when to quit. But when I sat down and wrote this list of pros and cons of the perfect skating posture for city skating, I just came up with a huge list. And I actually had to bring it down like crazy. I'm going to do a more honest line by which to narrate by. This is more the kind of skater I am, so you'll see me abandon the super low posture at times.
Yes, I actually talked so much about the subject that I had to go down to the basement on a rainy day just to shoot more footage for my narration to roll against. Before we summarize performance enhancements from correct posture, let's look at the full list of negative ramifications of skating with a shit posture. Skating with the wrong posture will hurt you and your skating in the following ways. How exciting. It sabotages power and stability. An upright torso disengages your glutes, leading to weak, unstable strides and poor application of force. Violates the laws of physics. You can't achieve a deep, powerful knee bend without a forward lean to counterbalance. No lean, no balance, no power. No, nothing. It causes ankle collapse and knee damage. Bending at the ankles instead of the hips places constant heavy strain on your knees. The misplaced load inflames the patellar tendon, causing jumper's knee, even though you're skating. It also damages knee cartilage. I'm getting so carried away with her. I'm selling you the injuries. Okay, calm down. Excessive pressure on the kneecap. Let's be empathetic. Excessive pressure on the kneecap softens and breaks down the retropatellar cartilage. All right, that's a little more sensitive. Let's just do a clean. Risks meniscus tears. A misaligned position increases shear and compressive forces on your critical knee shock absorbers. Poor posture also pounds away at your spine. Without muscular suspension, every bump sends shock waves into your vertebrae and discs, causing degeneration and chronic pain, potentially. If you skate a lot, it would be inevitably, but over years, people learn this. But why not learn early, right? Oh yes, this one is not insignificant. Accelerates hip wear. Upright posture disengages glutes and tightens hip flexors, which can damage the cartilage, labrum, and exacerbate the impingements. If your glutes are out of balance with your quads, bad things will happen. Inline skating is the ultimate form of cardio. There's no more complete form of cardio, but it can't possibly balance the body's mechanics all by itself. It won't be stretching, it won't be myofascial release or yoga. It will be strength training at full ranges of motion that keep you healthy and extraordinary on skates. And finally, of course, poor posture makes backward falls inevitable. Keeping your weight on your heels makes a dangerous backward fall onto your tailbone, wrist, or head a constant risk and a way of life. But this is all avoidable. Don't take bad advice. Skate deep and low, and your power will surprise you. Skating deep is tiring, and I would say when you can't skate deep, take frequent rests. So when you do skate, you're rehearsing stellar skating form. My unembellished stride style is not super wide and has a very close stride return because of where I skate in the city, the narrow places. But this low forward technique works well for all stride styles. The wide accelerative hockey pusher, the narrow trail cruiser, and especially those who have a lot of room for a big double push. Alright, let's examine the positive side of skating with correct posture. Here's what you'll gain. The right posture improves your skating because it activates your power engine. A forward hip hinge engages your glutes and hamstrings, your body's most powerful muscles for generating force. Proper posture channels force and forward momentum. Leaning forward aligns your body with your direction of travel, turning your leg push into pure forward speed instead of vertical bounce. It also unlocks longer, more powerful strides. The correct posture increases your hip range of motion, creating a longer push under your body for more power per stride. It improves aerodynamics. You all know that. You felt it. It also creates a reactive core. A slightly convex spine engages your core and lats, forming a rigid kinetic chain for instant power transfer and agility. Enhancement of body control. The loaded stance heightens your proprioception, giving you better awareness and control over your movements. It also speeds up your stride recovery. The completed range of motion actively helps you pull your recovery leg back faster for your next push. It also primes for an explosive kick. The forward lean pre-stretches your calves for that final kick at the end of each push when you're accelerating. It is palpable. So that's it. A lot of words from me in an effort to get you to skate like a chimp. Feed your inner ape with speed and power. And bananas. I eat a lot of bananas. Stay low. Lean forward.